More San Diego homeowners are thinking about refinancing while the average rate on a 30-year mortgage slips to a 10-month low. Now it's about 6.5%. Here to explain is real estate broker Mark Powell. Good to see you, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Logan.
My microphone's acting up a little bit. I'm going to put it on the chair here. Maybe that'll help us out. Let's talk about this. So we're at 6.5%, which is kind of on the high side, but are people taking out, are they refinancing to try to get a little equity out of their homes so they can maybe do some things?
So some people are thinking, I have a 2.5% or 3% interest rate on my house. I'm not going to be able to get that. Now it's double that. So what they're doing is they're taking out equity lines, even though it's high, 6.5%, and they're doing a lot of repairs on their house. Some of the biggest repairs you can do is putting in a new garage door, changing the interior doors, maybe changing those tile countertops that you see in the 80s and replacing them with quartz or quartzite or something like that. And what they do, though, when they do that is they drastically increase the value of their home. Because if somebody wants to buy a house, they like to buy a house that's updated. It's kind of like fashion. You know, remember in the 70s when Angel Flight pants were in style and you had the big flared
Still have them. Yeah.
So
they're coming back.
Exactly. But if you actually wore them when you were doing the news, they would say, why is he dressed like that? You know, why that old style? Sure. So people want to buy, they want new. They want to see that new style. So it really helps, not only if they're going to stay, it helps, but if they decide to sell later, they can sell for much more.
I'm wondering if some are thinking that the Fed's going to cut rates and then therefore the mortgage rates would then come down. It's usually how it works. And then maybe you wait and instead of getting your 6.5%, maybe you get, I don't know, 6 or 5 or 5.5.
That's a really good question. So what the audience should know is that when the Feds cut interest rates, that's the interest rate for your credit card. The interest rate for mortgages is the 10-year Treasury yield, and that's based upon the economy, inflation, but it's also based upon the Fed's interest rates. So when the Feds drop interest rates, it doesn't automatically equate to mortgage rates coming down. But you can tell if they do drop them, mortgage rates generally drop down. And I believe...
That's what it seems like.
I believe they're going to drop down soon.
Yeah. So what should somebody do, and maybe what should somebody do if they're looking to buy a house or they're looking to sell? I mean, it seems like right now there's not this feeding frenzy that there was, I guess, a year or two ago, where everybody was just trying to buy houses and the prices were really going up. Now it seems more like a buyer's market.
Well, you're right. As we were discussing earlier off camera, now's a really good time to buy because buyers have a lot of leverage. Sellers have to get realistic. Our home prices shot up the highest in the nation, but they're coming down relatively quickly too. Buyers now can leverage that downturn, and they can say, you know, pay my closing costs, or I want some concessions for repairs. So they have a lot more negotiating powers to bring that price down. So now really is a good time to buy, because once those interest rates actually drop down, you might see a lot more homes going on the market, and there's going to be a lot more competition.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I think some people are maybe waiting on the sidelines. How much does it have to go down before you start getting a good deal? I mean, if you see the house and you're like, I'm at 6.5% now, but maybe if it goes down to 5.5% and then I get it for the same price, but maybe I miss out, you're in a kind of a tough situation.
It's kind of counterintuitive. Should I buy now when the interest rates are high? Yeah. But as we were saying, if you purchase now and you got a really good deal on the house, when the interest rates do come down, you can refinance that to the lower interest rate, bring your mortgage rate down.
When does it not make sense to refinance? Let's say you get it for 6.5 and then it goes down to 5.5. Is that enough to refinance? Well, or does all the cost of refinancing just take away any benefit?
And another great question. We're looking at the San Diego economy in general. Yeah. And we have a really expensive city to live in. So that's on an individual basis. That's going to determine on how much money a person is making. It also is determining the unemployment rate. You have job security. So in general, it's an individual decision on when a person should do that. But in my opinion, I believe now's a really good time for people to purchase.
Just lastly, is there a little pocket of San Diego where you think there's some good value over maybe some other areas? Where's the hidden gold?
Okay, Okay, La Jolla is still high. There's a home for sale in La Jolla. It's $108 million. That was the Sand Castle.
Right.
It's beautiful. I also found a home way out in East County. It was $108,000. So it was cheap. I'm looking at kind of our central neighborhoods, Claremont, Linda Vista, Mira Mesa. Those are starting to look pretty good. Home prices in that neighborhood are coming down, and they're becoming affordable.
Okay, Mark Powell, good to see you, Mark.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right.